Mascot horror has been on the internet for over a decade now and started with some of horror fans' favorite game titles like Five Nights at Freddy's. I remember watching popular YouTubers like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and other creators play the game, alongside many other games that followed suit. And don't forget about the thousands of fans that sprung up in the wake of its success. But what makes Mascot horror so enjoyable for all of us? Is it the tension, the mystery, or the way these seemingly innocent characters can become so terrifying? Today we're going to dive into that and explore why this genre has captured the attention of fans for so long, and why it continues to inspire new creators and experiences. If you like my content, consider subscribing so we can hit our goal of 1K subscribers. And with that, let's start at the beginning. Mascot horror was awakened by the release of Five Nights at Freddy's, otherwise known as FNaF, created by Cawthon in 2014. FNaF was a unique game for its time, and not only for the gameplay aspect, literally having to sit in a room not able to move, only being able to watch cameras and closed doors to prevent the animatronics from breaking in, but the eeriness of the environment and hidden lore that flourished throughout the entire game. Compared to earlier releases like SCP Containment Breach, Outlast, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, or Resident Evil, FNaF brought a completely new perspective to the world of horror games, and would change the gaming space forever. But that made me wonder, why did FNaF spark such an interest in the community? I mean, we know what made it different, but what specifically about this genre made it so interesting? Well, for starters, let's take Mascot out of Mascot horror. When we think of characters like mascots for a company of some kind, their design and personality are determined by their purpose, the organization they represent, and their target audience. So when it comes to settings usually relating to children like a toy company, or in FNAF's instance, a pizzeria, the mascots are more often cute and designed to appeal to a younger audience. This is part of why Mascot horror is not only so interesting, but also so terrifying. I mean, put this picture in your head. Imagine going to Chuck E. Cheese your whole life, enjoying time with your family, but one day you notice one of the animatronics staring at you abnormally, not breaking eye contact. Something feels off. If it were me, my fight or flight senses would be primed and I'd be pretty uncomfortable. This taps into the horror aspect we call uncanny, where things usually seem somewhat recognizable but also uncomfortably strange. This is where Mascot horror sits at its core. And it's not just FNAF either. After the release of Five Nights at Freddy's, the game sparked a new wave of creation within the community. Not only fan games were created like Five Nights at Candy's, but completely different games like Tattletale, Bendy and the Ink Machine, Dark Deception, Poppy Playtime, and many, many more. These games tapped into that abnormal feeling, taking something that may seem normal in today's world and twisting the perspective by adding hidden details, puzzling characters, and atmospheres which were often left up to interpretation by the community. Before we continue, tell me which one of these games was your favorite in the comments below. Mascot horror is a favorite of mine, so I'd love to hear. This brings me to my next point, and perhaps my favorite aspect of Mascot horror: the mystery and the lore. Now, of course, Mascot horror didn't exactly coin this kind of thing. I mean, in relation to earlier games I mentioned, there was a lot of story and interpretations by the community, alongside hidden details. But Mascot horror definitely upped the intensity. Just take a look at FNAF 1. You find yourself in an eerie office, a poster on your left, and an uncanny cupcake on your right. You're working the night shift, and each night the guy on the phone speaking to you reveals more info about the animatronics moving, and past tragedies that took place. Immediately, this makes you question what is happening here. The animatronics aren't supposed to move around, yet we see it in real time. The tragedy leaves questioning for what happened in the past, and it goes much deeper. Other games follow similar systems nowadays, but FNAF had probabilities for chance that would determine if an event happened or not. Small events like posters changing on the walls, the animatronics looking at the camera differently, and each of these little moments in the game provided small details, interpretations for what actually happened within the storyline. And that's the true beauty of Mascot horror. Because of these minute details hidden within the game, the code, and the files, or wherever you choose to look, you slowly begin to learn more about what actually happened. And for someone like me, it makes my theorist brain jump with excitement, alongside so many others. The same format of learning about the story can be seen through all of Five Nights at Freddy's games, through hidden locations found by various Easter eggs that further develop the story. But let's take a look at this perspective from a different game, Tattletale. I'm thinking about making a video on this game covering it, because let's be honest, it was a really great game for its time, but let me know what you think. Tattletale is essentially this: you are a child and have 5 days until Christmas Day for when you open your presents. Your parents are nowhere to be seen, so you choose to open up your gift secretly. You learn that it is a Tattletale toy, which was based on this popular design at the time called Furbies, which was really creepy to me. really creepy. That thing's not staying in my room. It's not. Following this, strange events start happening. More start appearing, and after viewing a secret VHS tape, another entity starts following you around called Mama. And around the house are these hidden eggs, which if you collect them all, you get a secret ending. The point is clear. The game places you in a seemingly normal time frame, experiencing the last 5 days before Christmas, similar to Five Nights at Freddy's with the 5 nights. But slowly, more and more questions start appearing. Where are our parents? Why do I need to feed a mechanical toy? Who is Mama? And what do the VHS tapes even mean? Alongside so much more. Do you see where I'm getting at? When you look at these games like Tattletale, or even going back to the earliest days of FNaF, you can really see the foundation being built. An ordinary setting twisted into something uncanny, layered with mystery and hidden lore that keeps players digging for more. But Mascot horror didn't stop there. It continued and evolved. In fact, that's what I want to explore deeper, because while FNaF may have started the fire, it was really only the beginning. Soon the genre expanded in so many directions that nobody expected, giving us entirely new styles of mascots, gameplay mechanics, and storytelling approaches that pushed the boundaries of what horror games could be. Take Bendy and the Ink Machine for example. It moved Mascot horror away from security cameras and right into a full exploration story-based experience, drenched in atmosphere and lore that you can look around and find. Then came Hello Neighbor, shifting the focus to AI-driven gameplay where the mascot wasn't a creature but a mysterious man whose behavior kept players on edge. Still questioning why this was considered mascot horror, but I enjoyed the game nonetheless. And later, Poppy Playtime reinvented the formula again, leaning heavily into chase sequences, puzzle solving, and once again many questions surrounding the story, while also giving us mascots that felt both playful and terrifying. And beyond those, we've seen countless indie projects experimenting with these ideas, from twisted toys to corrupted childhood icons, each one reshaping the genre in small but impactful ways. And these evolutions even got carried into newer Five Nights at Freddy's games like Security Breach and Secret of the Mimic, where we have to progress the story by solving puzzles and evading various animatronics on our path. But that leaves one final important question. What makes mascot horror last? With so many games over the years, why does the genre still capture our attention and work in so many different ways? Well, at the end of the day, the reason mascot horror works isn't just because of some jump scares or creepy designs. It's the craft behind it. It takes the familiar and twists it into the uncanny, places you in ordinary settings that suddenly feel unsafe, and layers on mystery that rewards curiosity and community discussion. That combination, innocence colliding with terror, hidden details waiting to be uncovered, and the thrill of piecing it all together is what keeps the genre alive. And as long as creators continue to tap into those elements, mascot horror will always have the power to unsettle, surprise, and inspire. If you enjoyed this video, consider watching this next one right here, and let me know what you want to see in the future. As always, I'm Jeeps, and I'll see you next time.